In this video, we will walk you through accessing Elsevier's Evolve resources, step by step. What is Evolve? Evolve is a portal where you can access your eBooks that contain your required course readings for your coursework and other important online resources like SimChart, which is going to allow you to practice electronic health records and charting in your computer course, and the medical billing and coding internship online, which will help give you practice in coding before you do it in a real world setting. In order to access your Evolve resources, which will allow you to get to your textbooks online and other online resources, click on My Courses and proceed to one of your medical insurance biller courses. In this case, in this example, we're going to proceed to the Communications Insurance 3 course. In the top portion of all of your medical insurance biller courses, where you will find your syllabus and links to the catalog, you will also find a link to the Elsevier Evolve portal, and it explains that this is for accessing eBooks, SimChart, Virtual Medical Office, and other online course materials. Before you log in to the Elsevier portal for the first time, please make sure that you have your login credentials for the Elsevier Evolve portal. These were emailed to you directly by Elsevier Evolve, and for courtesy, your Student Services Advisor also emailed the same credentials to you so that you can have them ready for when you sign on to Elsevier's Evolve portal for the first time. In order to sign on, click on the link and enter your credentials. Notice that this says this is an Evolve single sign-on registration page. You will only need to complete this process once to enable single sign-on. If you already have an Elsevier account, please log in. For your convenience, our Student Services Advisors have enrolled you into the Evolve portal and ensured that you have received credentials for this step. So make sure that you are working out of this area in the Evolve portal and not on the right hand side. You do not need to sign up for an account. We have created one for you. Once you've located your credentials and you've entered them into the username and password fields, username being on top and the password being on the bottom, click Login. Once you've logged in, and you can save your password for your browser if it prompts you. Once you've logged in, the Evolve portal opens up in a separate window. To switch back and forth from Evolve to Moodle, you can just switch tabs. Now I am in the Moodle tab in my web browser, and now I am in the Evolve tab in my web browser. This is how you can switch back and forth from Evolve to Moodle very easily. Now we will show you how to explore your Evolve portal. Your ebooks will be contained in a link called PageVerse eBook on VitalSource, and there will be a link to go to your PageVerse on VitalSource library. Your PageVerse library will contain all of the titles that you need for your medical insurance billing course. KINS, the Medical Administrative Assistant, Step-by-Step Coding, Medical Terminology and Anatomy for ICD-10, and the Insurance Handbook. These are full textbooks that are rich and explorable. You can enter each textbook by clicking on the title of the textbook, and on the left hand side you can feel free to explore all of the areas of the textbook, from the table of contents in the book to the specific chapters. Whenever you see an arrow pointing to the right-hand side, that means you can expand that area. And you can go to specific areas within that chapter by expanding those areas. For example, I expanded chapter 7, and I can access the chapter outline for chapter 7. To continue to navigate within my book, I can scroll up and down. I can hide the navigation block on the left-hand side. I can reopen the navigation block, and I can move forward and backwards within the textbook by clicking on the next page and previous page buttons. Notice the rich illustrations and information contained in your textbooks. These are full electronic versions of your textbooks. And if you have appropriate devices, there are instructions for you to be able to download and view your ebooks offline in case you take a device with you on the go. Once again, notice how simple it is to access the navigation pane by clicking on the gray box in the middle left-hand side of your screen. This shows the navigation pane. To access your PageBurst library and the other titles in it, you just merely need to click on PageBurst, and this takes you back to your library and allows you to explore the other titles in your PageBurst library. For example, now we are exploring Kins, the Administrative Medical Assistant. I'm going to go back to the library and explore Step-by-Step Coding by Carol Buck. Back to the library, and I can explore the Insurance Handbook for the Medical Office. And once again, back to the PageBurst library. The top side of the screen shows your recently viewed titles, and all of the titles in your collection will be at the bottom. If you recently viewed all of them, you will find matching tiles. Both links work to get to your titles. These are the 4 books that you will need to use to complete your reading assignments. So it's important that you navigate and explore each one the very first day you log on to class, right after you watch this video. Make sure you click on each one so that you can explore it. To go back to your Evolve, you need to be inside of the main library page. So notice, I'm inside of a textbook now, which is Kins, the Medical Assisting, exploring Chapter 3. To go back to the library, I click on the PageBurst link at the top left-hand corner of the screen. In order to go back to my Evolve account, I need to be in the main library screen that shows all of my titles. Notice that now I have a link called My Evolve on the top right-hand side of the screen. But before we go back there, I want to point out that your first few times you log in, and until you disallow this notification, you may access the instructions for putting your books on a device for offline availability by clicking on this link. In order to go back to the Evolve website, click on My Evolve, not the outline of a person, but the button next to it that says My Evolve. And this will take you back to your Evolve portal. It is recommended while working in Moodle that you stay logged on to your Evolve portal and your PageBurst. In your course, for your convenience, we have added links that go directly to the resources in your Evolve portal. For example, we can link directly to a reading assignment, and that will take you directly to the reading assignment without having to do further logins. That was the importance of the single sign-on registration process that you completed earlier. Sometimes the links will take you to a lesson of an online resource in your Evolve portal. For example, this link takes you to the lesson on the skin. And you can start clicking through the lesson without further sign-on. Once again, we're illustrating the importance of that first step you took in registering yourself for single sign-on. Some of the lessons are very rich, and after a few slides there is an activity. We recommend you complete all of the activities because they will reinforce learning. For example, in this case, we're completing the activities on the different layers of the skin, and it tells us when the exercise is complete. This helps reinforce learning. Once we've completed the lesson, it tells us the outcome of the lesson, and we can go right back to the lesson. Notice we were on slide 3 of 7, and now we're completing the rest of the lesson. Your lessons will often pop up in separate windows. You can move those windows, you can maximize those windows, and in order to get back to Moodle, all you have to do is go back to your web browser window, your main web browser window. Now I am navigating between Moodle and the lesson window. Once I'm done with my lesson, I can close out this window, and all I see is Moodle again. Notice that because I have kept myself logged into my Evolve and my page burst by doing the single sign-on link, the other links work flawlessly. Once I have completed my study session, I can log out of my Evolve portal and close that browser window, and I can log out of my page burst and close out that browser window. We are doing this to illustrate the situation where you were done with a study session and now you're ready to log on subsequent times to the Evolve portal. Remember, we said that the single sign-on registration process would only need to take place once. Notice that we are logged off of the Evolve portal, and the windows that we were using to access those Evolve resources are now closed. Now, for subsequent entry into the Evolve portal and access to the links that take you directly to those specific resources as directed by your instructor, I merely need to click on the Elsevier portal link once again, and because single sign-on was completed, I am back into my Evolve portal. I will open up my page burst library, select a title, and I can continue reading. I can come back to my main page burst library, come back to Evolve, leave these windows open, go back to my Moodle tab and resume my studies, and the direct links will work once again. This is the single sign-on process that makes it easy for you to complete your coursework without having to log on to multiple systems at once. So once again, after watching this video, please locate your login credentials and complete your single sign-on registration process for the Evolve portal so that you can benefit from these direct links without having to log on again. Once again, thank you for watching this brief video on how to access and explore your Evolve resources. And welcome to Northwest College's eCampus.